will, I'll probably get Elio to come up and say a few words about what Startup Europe is. And Mike can do some intro on our .NET group to, push the blue screen a bit further out from the demo. So first of all, we're going to have Nigel up. Nigel's doing a lightning talk on data types and how you avoid data bloat. Then I'll be doing a half hour on careers, mainly because I'm changing jobs and somebody thought I was doing really well because I managed to up my salary by 50% doing it. Data scientist and lead data scientist is a very sexy job title. So that's kind of why I'm doing some fuzzy careers bits. Then we'll have a break so that if there is any pizza left over, you guys can have a round two with some coffee and tea breaks. Then Andrew will be presenting on multidiscipline, how you can take ideas from different areas and combine them to do really cool things like, well, I don't want to give away all your presentation, but detecting skin temperature and feeding that into different applications real time with things. Then Mike is doing .NET everywhere, kind of like on all the devices. Except for the router. And then I'll be showing you guys around Visual Studio Team Services. It's no longer called Visual Studio Online. And kind of going through what it's useful for and what sort of license, what sort of costs are associated.
Thanks, by the way. I've been going out. This is the first such talk that I've done. I've done a couple of other things in the past, but I've gone out to people and things you read and don't do this by PowerPoint. So I got rid of PowerPoint entirely, and for various reasons went to a paper-based solution, which is pretty good. So hi, my name's Nigel Founsnod, and apologies for this. I look after data at Sparkcard Loans in Cardiff. And tonight I want to talk about a subject that's really close to my heart, right at the moment, and I've called it data bloat. So what is data bloat? It's a term that I've coined for issues that are caused by data just taking up too much space, taking a lot more space than it should actually take up. And don't worry, all the C#, .NET, whatever guys, you do it. Sorry, it happens with it. It's not just a database thing. So this talk is to introduce it to you and just to make you think about it. We'll touch upon what can be done, but with the existing data, sometimes as a DBA we're really restricted in what we can do. As well as moan and groan and shout at people, we can make some changes, we can do a few things, but they tend to be purely at a physical level, and sometimes that's the way to go, so I'm mentioning that. Okay, can I have slide 2, please? Thank you. You don't always notice it straight away. Data bloat can really easily creep up on you. You can see my frogs representing tables here. So this is going to be sorry?
Frogs.
Sorry? They're very good frogs, yes.
Can you zoom in a bit?
Oh, is he going to run up and down?
You didn't want me to fall over.
Is it Totter?
Keep walking in the next
I
circle.
quite frequently run a reporting SQL server, which is disk usage by top tables. I know there are all sorts of more automated, more sophisticated, better ways of doing it. I like to run that from time to time, just to see what's going on. And tables can become really large, and that's absolutely fine if it's required, but not if it's unexpected or unnecessary. I've recently, literally the last week now, this is the origins, this shows you how much time I've prepared, recently spotted a table moving its way steadily up the chart, much like a Black Lace single in the 80s. And it's there for a reason. In that case, people were buying this music, just nobody knows why. This table, number 3, please, wasn't the key strategic data store. It wasn't a specifically large table on a source system that we're bringing into a staging area. Compared to its neighbours, it started off slightly larger, and then it got really, really big with a very low number of rows. It just wasn't right. Upon investigation, there was trouble in here. Didn't have a great table structure. There's loads of things I could go into. Plenty of repeated data items. Worst of all, it was using inappropriate data types absolutely everywhere. This isn't a new problem. I've seen it before. I've normally seen it in end-user computing, which is something we love. Generally caused by inexperience, ignorance, or lazy developers. I'm going to mention lazy developers and lazy DBAs.
And you're going to use develop as a shorthand for user, right? In this case?
They're the next level down. They're the next level down.
Okay.
So I'm going to mention lazy developers, lazy DBAs. People say, oh, that's a brilliant thing, I'm a lazy DBA. And often they mean that they do automation and efficiency, and they get everything sorted out so they don't have to do anything. No, I'm talking here about proper lazy, like our teenage kids, don't get up till 12, don't load the dishwasher. And this is the type of issue that we do get. The most common trouble spots we get are integer, numeric, date time, and Unicode values. So if you're using any of those, I like to think that you all are, then I'm just asking to have a think about it. So if I can have slide forward, please. A few examples of what I found.
I was thinking we should probably just pass that one down the table.
That one? Yeah, that's fine. So a few examples of what I found. Starting off with integer. An integer value, using the integer value as your data type, is going to take up 4 bytes, regardless of what goes in there. It'll cover you up to, and I'll have to read the numbers, 2147, 483, 647. But do you really need that? Example columns are found, defined as integer, original term of love. Now, we're not loading shards, but we certainly don't need that sort of value to go in. So we could probably have gone to a tiny integer, up to 1 to 255, but using small int gets you up to 32,707. So it's a lot more flexible. But doing that would take your column size down to 2 bytes. Would be 2 bytes. Okay, I've got 80 million rows in that table. 80 million, 2 bytes. It's significant. Onwards to numeric values. Don't know why it's a favourite. Numeric 18,2 is a data type that Excel absolutely loves. So people take things straight out of Excel, straight in SQL Server, numeric 18,2, takes up 9 bytes. That will take you up to a massive number. Whereas if you go to numeric 9,2, you can still go up to 9,999,999.99, and you've got 5 bytes. So that's going to take you 4 bytes per row. And as regards the other issue, we had 180 of those things today. So dates aren't immune to bloat either. What about date time? Small date time. Do you use small date time instead of date time? You go in 8 bytes, then to 4 bytes. All you're losing is the range that you go in, where the small date time will cover most things, and precision within the time as well. So you can get that done. If it's only the date, if you're old enough to have been around before SQL 2005, then you may not know about the date data type, which is 3 bytes. It's just the date. Brilliant. But luckily that was used, so there's no action here. Also on my no action required here was char. If you've got fixed data types and you know fixed data sizes, you know that the data is always going to be that big, then a char is more efficient than a varchar with its special values for being able to hold extended items. But it is possible you could end up taking more space. This was good again. And another favourite is nchar, Unicode. data types, nchar and varchar. Again, SQL 2005, everybody go Unicode. We can all do Unicode, that's brilliant. Do you use foreign language characters? Do you need to use Unicode? Often you don't. If you do, or you think you might, great, future-proof yourself. If not, char and varchar will use 1 byte per character, not 2 bytes per character. So, I think part of that as well, and I'll come on to it, knowing your data. If you're looking at something that's there already, have a look how it's populated. Have a look at what it was designed for, because it may well, it looks daft, but it is required for that particular application. So you might have a value that aggregates into the thing. Most of the data is way too small, but occasionally you're going to go over the smaller data type. But what is the fuss? Because disk space is cheap. Every wasted byte is going to cost you. It will cost you storage on the base table, and it will cost you storage for the it'll cost you storage for the indexes as well. You reduce the size of a key column within the index, your index is going to get smaller, and that's all good. Making your tables more efficient is going to make them more agile. That's agile with a lowercase. That's just representing what we're doing. You get more pages on a disk. SQL Server is essentially just one big disk cache. So you give it memory, and it loads frogs in. Once it fills that memory, that's fine. If you want some more data, it's going to go off to disk, slow. It's going to pull that data in, stay on that, yeah. Pull that data in, and it's going to kick some data out. And then when you want that data back again, it's going to pull that back in. So guess what? Having big lumps of data, or data that is bigger than it's meant to be, is going to slow you down. So, as I say, it'll stay there until data is, some of the data is required, it will prioritize. Reduce the space in the table, it will reduce the amount of space required in the memory. You'll experience better performance, everyone is going to be happy. So that's our slim down database. It's a bit more sensible. We've got a lot more data in there, not just one big table. Backups are going to take less time. Database maintenance, indexing, statistics, all the stuff that people rely on just to keep things running nicely. That's all going to be a lot quicker. So in terms of how I went through, small time in there. Identifying the data, I haven't got enough time to go through all of that, but essentially, in a nutshell, I put the table structure into an Excel sheet, looked at each, filtered by each of the data types, went through, worked out what it was, looked at the data, worked out what I could resize as, and then worked out what the differences were. And according to that, I've got a 160 gig table, which is going to come down to about 100. That's quite a significant saving. What I will say, be careful. Be prepared to send yourself absolutely silly trying to sandbox this. Do it all in dev before you go anywhere near production, or before you go anywhere near people, to give them expectations on how good a job you're going to do. I've had some great fun whereby you think it's going to reduce the size of the column, but it doesn't actually reduce the size of the column. And we've been through a bit of that today. And one of the things you do need to do once you've reduced sizes is to rebuild the clustered index on the table in order for it to release the space. I'll give you a little trick I've done loads of work. I've had great fun with that very, very recently. So, yes, have a look. Be aware. Also, rebuilding the index, be aware that that is going to take a lot more disk space. This is the type of thing, it's like growing asparagus. It's better if you started 2 years ago. That's always the advice. If you want to grow asparagus, start 2 years ago. If you catch the tables when they're young, when they're about to go into production, and this is where we've got to be more vigilant with stuff coming, being shown a little fence. Stop it there, stop as soon as possible. Because your table gets bigger, and then you go to shrink it down. If you rebuild in a clustered index, you're going to need 1.5 times the size of your table to get it back down. And then you've got a database that's grown massively. You're getting started on shrinking databases, and you know you're just propagating the problem. So in terms of our following actions, as well as fixing it, user education. I'm doing this to end user computing as well as developers. Stand guard, vigilant on your developers. Sounds very important to developers. If they want to take it into production, just say no. So the key reason for this presentation: raise awareness for data bloat, know how to look for it, sort it properly. It will keep you happy. It will keep everybody happy. Happy frog. Happy frog. I've got one slide on references. So in terms of where to go, really good website, connectionstrings.com. They've got reference SQL Server data types. I sent them an email last week to say you've missed a few. Please can you complete it? They completed their table within 24 hours, which I thought was brilliant. And there's a really good blog there as well, which I found just after I done the language. On the final slide, I was going to see how things went, because I rejected that slide from the main thing. Because this is, my brief to my agile design person was, I want a happy agile frog. There we go. Thank you for your time. If you've got any questions, catch me at the interval. Thank you.